Legs spread, same width as the shoulders. Body tight, then hit the ball like you're defeating the enemy. Here, the pinky finger is the key, and then you just hit, ka-king, bingo! What are you talking about? I'm just gonna read it. Fuck it, who cares? He who conquers the left side conquers the world, Chief. Where's the long part where he says a bunch of stuff? Are you talking about a video game? Talking. What are you doing? It's really, I've seen this show so many times, I can do this. I'm going full send. Homework. Then why don't you do it at home? It's not cool. You can do my homework too if you want, huh? Your hands are upside down. Oh, you should play baseball too, Takun. Why do you always carry around a bat? Why do you always hang out down here by the river? Because you know. Now, why was it? You're in a good mood. You smell like cigarettes. The strong ones. I haven't been smoking. Mom, Mimi, why do you always do this? Earlobes. Huh? If I don't do it, I'll overflow. What do you mean? What'll happen? Probably something amazing. Nothing amazing happens here. Everything is ordinary. The huge factory that can be seen from our town, the medical mechanical plant. All the adults got excited when it came here, like it was a really big thing. The white steam that billows out every day at the same time. It looked to me like smoke that signified some kind of omen. Smoke that spreads out and covers everything. What? What? How much longer can I get away with this, you guys? How much longer can I get away with this? If somebody tell me to stop, or I'm just gonna keep doing it. Says a short time later, a girl, Haruko, sits on a yellow Vespa scooter, eating a snack food as she peers through a pair of binoculars. Meanwhile, Naota goes to select a drink from a vending machine, but Mamimi presses another button before he can do so. Naota looks at her with dismay as she takes a drink from the can. You know I don't like sour drinks. Plah! Huh? Oh, look, a mark! Naota quickly covers his neck with his hand. Haha, hickey. Mamimi smiles. Wow, how about a Band-Aid? Here. What? It's yours, isn't it? There's more than half left, Chief. She begins to walk away. Naota looks at the can. He hates sour drinks. He throws the can away. You know what? My brother, in the U.S.? A moment passes. In the background, the sound of a motor becomes audible. Naota turns and squints to see Haruko, who's approaching quickly on her Vespa, swinging a blue Rickenbacker 4001 bass guitar. All right, launch time! But Haruko hits a bump in the road, causing her to temporarily lose control of her Vespa. She inadvertently hits Naota on the head-on, sending him flying, while Mimi watches Naota fly through the air. Alrighty, she quickly pulls out her camera and takes a snapshot of Naota flying through the air. Naota finally crash lands a few feet away. Meanwhile, Haruko brings her Vespa to a screeching stop, while Mimi rushes to see if Naota is still alive. Takun! Stop! Huh? Native girl must stop! Taru-kun just hit his head, so you can't move him yet, understand? I'm singing stuff. Give me a second. Aw, but he isn't Taro-kun. Haruko turns over now to his lifeless body. He's unconscious and his eyes are rolled back in his head. Haruko gasps. Mimi takes a snapshot of Naota's lifeless body. Haruko then drops a white handkerchief onto Naota's face. He's dead! This young boy is completely dead! Just as Taro would be! But he's not Taro, like I said. He's Naota, but I call him Takun, you know? It's kinda cute, don't you think? Oh, I killed him! I finally find him and I killed him! But it was an accident, kinda. Oh, let's face it, I definitely totally killed him, just like that! Bang! No more like bunk, kablam, or kersplat! Yes. Haruko then stops and rips off her helmet and goggles with one motion of her hand, throwing them up in the air. Mamimi watches them go up. Oh! Haruko quickly wipes Naota's face with a handkerchief and clutches his face. Come back to life! She bends over to begin mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on Naota. Mamimi watching in horror. Whoa! Smoocho! What the fuck is even happening? What is life? The slow motion ends. Haruko's helmet and goggles fall to the ground. The scene suddenly shrinks into a tiny box in the top right corner of the screen, revealing a shot of Haruko and Mamimi sitting in a bus, like actors waiting to go onto set. Those slow motion scenes are really tough, huh? Yeah, you have to hold your breath until they say cut. You can get cramps from that, you know. Naota's head pops up. What? I thought it was a special effect. You're doing the slow motion? Alright, Taro-kun is back. He's not Taro, okay? Oh really? I was close then, because if he was Taro, then he would have just turned into another statistic. Death by motorbike. I lucked out. She yanks the cord to the motor attached to their guitar, which quickly roars to life. Round 2! She hits the now semi-conscious Naota square in the forehead with her guitar. Mamimi watches Naota fly through the air again. Naota! Naota flies several more feet before coming to rest, face down on the sidewalk. Haruko walks over, picks him up by the ankles, and proceeds to shake his lifeless body up and down. Here we go. Still shaking Naota up and down. It's not coming out. I guess I better hit him again. Stop! Mamimi flies at her, ripping Naota's body from her hands. He hit his head, all right. You said yourself that you shouldn't move him. Naota suddenly snaps back to life. He groans and clutches his forehead in pain. What did you do to me? CPR. What do you think I did? That's not what I meant. Puh. Did she put her tongue inside? You are useless. What are you talking about? She mockingly sticks out her tongue at them, then blasts off on her Vespa as though it were rocket-propelled. Both Naota and Mamimi yell as the cloud of smoke from her departure quickly envelops them. From a distance, we see Haruko rocketing away, knocking larger vehicles out of her way as if they were toys. Oh, she's very fast. She's at least 20 years old. She turns to Naota, who is still clutching his forehead. Do you need a doctor? Naota angrily. A stupid adult who doesn't know how to grow up. Does it hurt? That night, Naota's in his room at home. Ow! Ow! Ow, 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 ow! It doesn't look like a normal bump. I can't go to the hospital like this. Naota's looking at himself in the mirror. There's a very large, horn-like protrusion sticking out from his forehead. He uses his finger to gently push the horn back into his forehead and hold it in. Ow! Oh! I guess I just need to hold it, he gasps. What will I do in school tomorrow? He takes his finger off and the horn quickly snaps back to its original length. Ow! Ow, 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 ow! The next day, Naota's sitting in class. He has a large bandage over his forehead, which is keeping the horn at bay. Other kids are chatting around him. Did you hear? She was around yesterday. That looks really bizarre. That's Ninamori. Naota looks up to see a girl, Ninamori Eri, looking down at him. Gaku to Masashi. Isn't it awesome? Ninamori to Naota. You're hiding something, huh? Come on. Don't be such a brat. Now says that. A boy, Manabe Gaku, not Goku, Gaku, suddenly leans in, slightly startling Naota. Another boy, Masumane Masashi, is standing nearby. Gaku says, Naota, did you hear? What? The Vespa woman. Vespa? A wasp woman? She's got a guitar and a Yusaku bike. Not exactly. Realizing who they were talking about, Naota sits wide-eyed, unable to speak. Gaku says, some girl in the other class had her super spicy curry bread stolen. Super spicy? Gaku says, and when she stings, she leaves a demon's mark that shows you've been doing naughty things, and it never goes away. In the background, the intercom chimes. Inamori, slightly skeptical. What naughty things? Well... Fucking intercom. Masashi says, like something really perverted. Perverted? Inamori looks at Naota's neck and smiles. So, what's that mark? Naota quickly covers his neck with his hand. Gaku says, it's a mark of the demon! Holy shit. Really? Let me see, says Masashi. Naota says, there's nothing to see. Cut it out. Did you see her, Naota? Did she sting you? Pervert! He's a pervert! What are you talking about? Pervert! Let's see. Nothing amazing happens here. Everything is ordinary, so it's not a punishment like when I go see Samajima Mamimi. It's just something I always do. It's ordinary. Later that day, Naota stands at a railroad crossing, waiting behind the barricade for the train to pass. Naota, voiced over, says, after school, I decided to go to the hospital. I didn't want to think about that Vespa woman. Suddenly we hear the familiar sound of Haruko's Vespa. Naota's face fills with terror as he realizes that the Vespa woman is right behind him. Yeah, this is just right. Has a good feel, too. So what happened yesterday after I left? Did something happen? Hey, something did happen, right? Like something weird? Naota turns to her angrily. I don't know what you're talking about. Haruko, noticing the large bandage on his forehead. What's that? A pimple? Naota looks at her shocked. His quick comeback didn't even faze her. It looks kind of sick. Putrefied. You're not hiding something, are you? But Naota's gone. She sees him on the other side of the railroad tracks running away. Haruko slumps, aggravated. The train finally passes by. She knows he's hiding something. If he's desperate enough to risk getting hit by an oncoming train, he's definitely hiding something. Later, Naota is at the hospital, lying on an examination table with a cloth covering his eyes. A nurse is sitting nearby, holding a clipboard and tapping a pin on a desk. Platonic clipple waiver syndrome. Fooly cooly? An adolescent psychological skin hardening syndrome. It's a common disease where children grow horns from trying too hard. That's a lie. I've never heard that before. Yeah, I lied. So what is the truth? Underneath the Band-Aid. Naota takes the cloth off his eyes just in time to see Haruko in a nurse's outfit about to strike with her guitar. Haruko! Ha! She smashes the examination table. Naota barely escapes, but the impact sends him sprawling. What are you doing in the hospital? Stay right there. I'm gonna make you feel all better. We hear the sound of Haruko smashing everything in sight with her guitar. We see a doctor and a nurse bound and gagged with duct tape in another part of the room. The nurse is in her underwear. It's my special treat. We see the hospital from the outside. It shakes and rocks from the chaos going on inside. Suddenly, the noise has stopped. Huh? Where'd he go? Hey! Hey! Taro-kun! Outside, Naota quickly sneaks away. That evening, Naota's at home, talking to Mamimi on the phone. There is anger in his voice. He has not been having a good day. Photos? I don't need to see that. No, I'm busy. I don't care. Go out with your friends. He slams the phone down. At the riverbed, Mamimi looks at her cell phone. We hear a dial tone. Back at the house, Naota plops down on his bed and sighs, and a voiceover begins. I dreamed about my brother. He was batting, and I was dazzled by his swing. It seemed impossible that anything could have been so perfect. Later, outside Naota's house, we see Kamon's car, and parked beside it a yellow Vespa. Is that his dad? I forget his dad's name. Now, dinner! Inside, Naota comes down the stairs and walks sleepily into the dining room. A moment passes. Naota, it's you! The Vespa woman! The action abruptly switches from animation to manga comic form. Sitting at the dinner table are Naota's father, Nandaba Kamon, who has bandages on his head and face, Naota's grandfather, Nandaba Shigekune, and Haruko, the Vespa woman. Why are you yelling? Hurry up and sit down! Hi. Naota's stammering. His dad says, "Oh, I just hired her to work for us. Her name's Haruhara."
Haruko, pleasure.
Naota looks at Komon bewildered. "I got run over, smashed."
By your Vespa? It should have killed him.
It's so weird to read it like this. But instead, we got a live-in housekeeper out of it, didn't we? "Are you feeling okay, Grandpa?" I mean, he suddenly realizes what Komon has just said.
You got a housekeeper?
Indicating Haruko.
A housekeeper?
Haruko says matter-of-factly,
"Who was watching Taro-kun? Who was making out with the high school girl?"
"Fondling her yum-yums?"
I told you, I'm not Taru.
"Fondling her cupcakes?" Naota yells as Kalman tackles him and puts him in a chokehold like a professional wrestler. "Who's this slut you're fooling around with, huh? Huh?" I'm sorry. Naota says, Mamimi, we were down at the river." "Really? Mamimi?"
I'll bet she does it like a weasel. She's cursed, I tell you.
"Ah, your brother is away, so she's sinking her fangs into you, Naota. Fondling around, fooling around, fooly-cooly." "What's fooly-cooly?"
How should I know? I'm still in grade school. Do you think I'm that crazy?
Meanwhile, Shigekuni attempts to explain fooly-cooly to Haruko using his hands. "That's what it is. Naota's Gundam Hammer."
Naota's Gundam Hammer?
Huh? Shigekuni's like,
"You do it like this with your hands."
It's that Torino-esque thing, saying it's Gundam, but basically it's giant robot anime, right? "I don't know what you're talking about. Now it's just like me, so he must be doing it. I know he's doing it, fooly-cooly!"
I see. Pretty impressive, little bro. Cooly.
So what do you think, Haruko-san?
What do ya?
Ah, cooly like that?
Kool-Aid?
Not like curry powder aphrodisiac licked off my desk.
Desk?
It's this kind of cooly new mentality.
Noodle?
I mean like MTV!
Empty?
Ooh! Former assistant editor-in-chief, I didn't know you had such a lovely young wife. Oh, cooly, yeah, it's kind of cooly dream thing.
Yeah, cooly is, you do it like this with your hands, see?
All right, she grabs Naota. I'm already in that kind of relationship with Takun here. Relationship? How do you mean?
Mouth to mouth.
She kisses the disgruntled Naota. Mouth?
Cooly.
Naota yelling at Haruko.
I told you to shut up about that.
So, living in the same house, you two are already fooly, I see.
Who cares if it's fooly or cooly?
But you're still thinking of doing it tonight, aren't you?
Stop acting like a kid.
With that kind of perverted, fooly kind of dream, you must be hiding it underneath this Band-Aid, aren't you? He tries to pull the bandage off of Naota's forehead, but Naota resists.
I'm not hiding anything. Band-Aid. Cooly.
Short time later, Naota's in the shower. We can still hear Haruko, Kamon, and Shigekune talking loudly elsewhere in the room. Naota bitterly. They're in a good mood. And we are in Naota's room. Haruko is in Naota's room. She's sitting on the floor facing Naota's desk. It's not immediately obvious whom she's talking to.
Well, they say they're making some kind of medical machines or something. Yeah? Uh-huh. I don't know that yet. Yes, that's true. You got a point.
Naota comes up the stairs. He hears Haruko in his room. Well, the channel isn't perfect, and the kid I found here is pretty useless. Naota opens the door. Oh! There's no one in the room except for Haruko and Miu, Naota's cat, who is sitting on Naota's desk. Miu goes,
meow.
Naota looks at both of them uncomfortably.
ask before you come in. A short time later, Haruko is sitting at the window of Naota's room, quietly plucking the strings on her guitar. Haruko indicating Naota's bunk beds. I see the bottom's yours, so I'll sleep on top. Naota slides the door shut. Really? Who are you and what do you want? I'm just a wandering housekeeper. Tell me the truth. I'm an alien. Right, and this afternoon you were a nurse. What's underneath the Band-Aid? You're really freaky. Under the Band-Aid? What's it like? Tell me. He's beginning to get creeped out. I don't know. You're lying. You saw it? Something strange is happening. What are you hiding under the Band-Aid? You did it, didn't you? You should know about your own head. Because you hit me there. Let's see it. We see her hand reach to pull the bandage off Naota's forehead. Naota quickly slaps her hand away, and Naota shouts, You came here with my father. Why don't you sleep with him? With him? Miyu shudders from the volume of Naota's voice. A moment passes. Haruko begins quietly plucking her strings again. She is once again seated on the other side of the room, as if nothing has happened. Naota speaks quietly. What do you want? You're the one I saw first, Takun. Naota blushes unexpectedly. Anyway, the top bunk is my brother's, so no one else can sleep there. He walks over and lies down on the bottom bunk. That's the way it is. Haruko. So how old is your brother? Where is he? America. Why? Baseball. Oh, he's a really good player, huh? She walks over and plops down on the bottom bunk beside him. Naota promptly goes ballistic. You're sleeping here? Is this where you're sleeping, huh? Haruko looks at him sheepishly. It's the only place. The top belongs to your brother, right? Naota glares at her. He is thoroughly pissed off. A short time later, he is walking down the stairs holding a pillow. She's playing with my head. He walks past the doorway. Kamon is inside. Naota-kun. Huh? We need to talk. About what? About Haruko-san. You're against her staying here, aren't you? Do whatever you want. Kamon smiles inexplicably. Naota frowns. Now what is Kamon up to? I named you Naota for honesty. He pulls out a set of photos, so it would appear you were run over too. We see that the pictures of Naota getting hit by Haruko's bike the previous day. Naota thinks for a moment, then realizes, Mamimi was here? She asked for some of the day-old bread we've got on sale. It's a Mimi type of thing, a dreamy type of thing. Is Mamimi's family poor, would you say? Without a word, Naota bolts down the hall, out the door, and runs off into the night to find Mamimi. Haruko and Miyu watch him from the bedroom window. He's alright. Meow. A short time later, we see Mamimi on the bridge, smoking a cigarette. She turns as she hears Naota run up. Naota pants as they exchange looks for a moment. She then tosses her cigarette into the river, and sits down on the sidewalk. She has a paper bag filled with bread. He gave me a lot. Naota says, Did he send you a letter? Hasn't he contacted you at all? 2 cars pass. My brother, I mean. How much do you like him? Mamimi takes a bit of bread from the bag and bites into it. It's hard. You saw the sign at our bakery. That bread's old. She puts the bread back in the bag and puts the bag down. Watermelon. Huh? Mimi stands up. Or like a panda with a mean face. Or like sandals with pressure points drawn on them. Or the smell of a blackboard eraser. Or a Sunday morning where you wake up and it's raining. She walks over and embraces him affectionately like before. Naota is not amused. Well, I like you more than hard bread. Why don't you stop then? You know he has a... Back in Naota's room, Haruko has been looking through Naota's things. Baseball-related books and magazines are strewn across the floor. She holds a letter Naota has received from Tasku. Haruko, oh no! An American girlfriend! Half exposed from the envelope, we see a picture of Nandaba Tasku with his new girlfriend. Back at the river, Mamimi sobs, reacting to the news. Meanwhile, Haruko resists the temptation to open the rest of the letter. No, I must respect your brother's privacy! Her bracelet starts rattling. Huh? Uh-oh.
Back at the river, Mamimi gasps and clutches her head as if she were in extreme pain. Hey, what's the matter?
I'm gonna overflow!
Huh?
I'm gonna overflow!
What do you mean? Mamimi collapses.
Mamimi!
Naota's head suddenly throbs. He staggers backwards. Warily, it throbs again. Back at Naota's house, Haruko takes off on her Vespa. From a distance, we see the medical mechanica plant light up and begins to roar. At the bridge, Naota is bent over, clutching his head in pain. His head throbs. The strength of the pulse sends him reeling. The horn on his forehead suddenly bursts free of the bandage which has been restraining it. Meanwhile, Haruko is speeding towards the bridge as fast as she can. The horn is growing. It's already about 3 times its original size. It's getting bigger! Naota staggers as the horn grows into a hand, which quickly emerges from Naota's head, followed by an arm, and then an entire body. A large, red, humanoid robot has now partially emerged from Naota's head. It begins to pull itself free when another robotic hand reaches out of Naota's head and tries to pull the red robot back in. The red robot fights its way out, ripping the other robot's arm off at the elbow. The two land nearby, but the arm has a life of its own, and it quickly springs away. Naota staggers backwards in a daze as the red robot quickly gets to its feet. Naota's shirt gets caught on the robot's body plating. The red robot jumps up, taking Naota along for the ride. Naota yells as they fly through the air. Ah! Finally landing on top of the bridge, the red robot and the arm stand, ready to do battle. Naota watches as the arm seems to double in size. Suddenly he thinks, "Where's Mamimi?" But the battle is on. The arm strikes first, but the red robot blocks and delivers a punch that sends the arm tumbling back. The arm tries to grab a hold of a girder, but the red robot lands a flying kick. Naota is still stuck to the red robot as they fight. What's going on? Both machines land, and the arm takes off in a bid to escape. The red robot grabs one of the cables hanging out from where the arm was broken off. The red robot yanks the cable, causing the arm to crash into an overhead girder. Then it yanks the cable again, bringing the arm slamming to the ground. The red robot then jumps on top and rips out a large portion of the arm's mechanical innards. Electricity cackles. From a distance, we see the explosion as the arm is destroyed. Haruko sees this as she speeds toward the bridge. Naota coughs as the smoke clears. Haruko enters, jumps off her Vespa, and pulls the cord on her guitar, which roars into life. Naota hears her coming. Haruko! The red robot begins to turn its head. But Haruko is already airborne, and with a rebel yell, she buries her guitar into the robot's head, shattering the back of it. When this happens, the robot turns from blood red to cobalt blue. Naota watches wide-eyed. Wow! As soon as I said that, I knew I shouldn't have. In that moment, just for a flash, she looked like my brother. Moments later, the robot is lying on the ground, its head smoking. Naota is still stuck to the robot's body. Mamimi is asleep nearby where she collapsed earlier. Haruko is looking around as if she's looking for someone. Naota is struggling to free himself. Hey, I'm stuck on this thing! Come on! Haruko, looking around puzzled. Where is he? Unhook me, will ya? In the distance, we see the medical mechanica plant powering down. The lights go out and the roaring sound dies. The next day at Naota's house, Naota's tying his shoes. Anyway, the band-aid came off. The horn is gone. Nothing amazing. He looks up. Haruko's teaching the robot to make bread. Kamon and Shigakune sit nearby. Haruko. You have to roll the dough smooth or the bread will be lumpy. Now get it right this time. Only the ordinary happens here. You call that bread? I gotta go. Moments later at the bridge, Mamimi drinks from a can. She turns as she hears Naota up. He is panting. Run up. You didn't have to run all the way here. She hands him the can. He looks at it. It's a sour drink. Naota thinking, but I said I don't like sour stuff. He looks at it for a moment, then seems to decide to hell with it, and takes a big gulp of it. Black. Ending credits. There you have it. That's episode 1. That was episode 1 of one of my favorite anime ever. Delicious pancakes. That was neat.